Um, but the reality is that you guys have got a very tough job. You are dealing with some very difficult situations in terms of getting stuff done. And I've already heard it at this conference. So we were sitting in the one where we were talking about mobile applications. In that one, the speaker was recommending that the best solution is just to do it and not tell anyone. Right? Because it gets stuff done, doesn't it? But, you know, there was someone else there going, you know, how do we get this past the politics? How do we overcome, you know, these kinds of problems? So, it's enough to make you want to reconsider your career options at some points. And it is very difficult. So let's just look at a few of the kind of problems that I think you guys might be facing. Now, you know, you're jolly Americans. You're like, we can do anything, the American dream. We can succeed. In Britain, we're more kind of, yes, I'm just going to sit here quietly and hope nobody notices me. But I suspect the problems are fairly similar. Right. So, problem number one. Do you have departmental conflicts? Put your hands up if you've ever seen this scenario, marketing and technology, right? Good, I'm on the right track, that's encouraging. Right, so you get these conflicts, don't you, where two departments are head to head. And often, the web team is caught in the middle, aren't they? Because sometimes you report to marketing or comms, sometimes you report to IT. They often like to move you around and move you from one report to one person to another. And then you're supposed to, they try and get you working better together, so they report to marketing, but you're embedded with IT. Just to make it good. Or you report to both, and then you've got double the number of bosses, which is great. And you get caught in the crossfire of these kinds of conflicts that exist. The second thing is you get management who aren't particularly well informed about the web. They're not like you, they're not experts, and all they're looking at is the pretty colours. And the kind of branding. That's what they care about, you know? And the fact that the thing doesn't work in any browser, they don't care about. Or all they care about is, well, I'm using Internet Explorer. No, sorry, that's too advanced, sorry. I look at the internet with that little blue E. What's that? Yeah, that's Internet Explorer. Can you go to this? Oh, you're using Internet Explorer 6. Doesn't look right on my computer. So there's management you have to worry about as well. Then there's the web steering committees. Do you have web steering committees? Put your hands up if you have a web steering committee. Good. So you have this kind of compromising. You have, you know, one of them that sits on the committee and says, oh, I love the blue. And the other one says, I hate the colour, we can't have that. And then the third person says, well, what about a compromise? And before you know it, you've lost control. And they're making decisions in the room without you. So there's a web steering committee. Also, there's this internal mentality, isn't there? What? There's a world outside of the university? That people don't think like us? That they don't know what alumni means? Do you know, we did some usability testing with undergraduates, and they had no clue what the word alumni meant. Worse still, they didn't know what undergraduate meant. I'm not kidding you. Absolutely true. But we have this mentality, as we exist within our institutions, of forgetting that there's an outside world. And a lot of the people that work within institutions don't engage with the outside world. So they have no conception of it. And then there's also this inevitable scope creep problem, isn't there? You know it. So you say you're implementing a new system on the website, and then somebody will say, oh, well that really ought to tie in with our CRM system. Yes, great, no problem, you say, because you're a go-getting American person that can do anything. So you say, no problem. And then they turn around and they say, yeah, that hasn't been commissioned yet. So, okay, I've got to tie in with a system that doesn't exist. Yeah, so if you could just put your project on hold for 3 years while we select our CRM system and implement it, that would be great. So that you have this scope creep where projects become more and more and more complex over time. So, And then there is this person, the problem people. Now, every single one of you are thinking of someone right now, aren't you? Is it the person sitting next to you? Oh, that's harsh. Harsh but fair. We all have problem people that we have to deal with in our organisations, and they can be crippling. If that person is someone with some power or some influence, you can be stuffed. And then there's the speed of decision making within higher education institutions. I had to say that slow because I can't go on to the next foil until that thing's finished moving. So, you know, it's very slow, isn't it? It's a slow process. Everything takes forever to make decisions. So, what are the solutions? Well, I want to look at 4 areas in the time that I've got left, right? I want to look at improving perceptions. And what do I mean by that? I mean improving the way you as individuals are perceived within your organisation. Secondly, I want to look at overcoming politics. Thirdly, I want to look at getting sign-off, getting approval for the things that you know have to be done within your institutions in order to make your website effective. And then finally, I want to look at stopping scope creep and slippages.